roots. The branding of livestock to prove private ownership of an individual animal as a practice can be dated back to the times of ancient Egypt. It was done as a means to prevent the fighting over possession of property and theft, as to best ensure the property remained with its rightful owner. This tradition continued on through the centuries, with the practice taking on mythological status in some cultures, such as in ancient Rome, where magic spells were believed to be woven into brandings. Even objects produced by Romans were sometimes branded or inscribed with a name, usually to denote the origin of the product, but sometimes also naming its creator. Early in the history of Christianity, the cross symbol became a signifier of the religious movement. Christian art, iconography, monuments, and architecture have been branded with this symbol ever since to denote the religion, a holy symbol to display the possession of the thing by Christ. In essence, a branding, such as you see on churches. Heraldry became common in Europe and parts of Asia, a tradition that continues today, with the design of armorial bearings such as coat of arms, that would denote an organization or a town that one would belong to. This saw the development of more intricate design and styles of artistry over time. If you take a walk around the city of London on a quiet Sunday morning, you'll notice all sorts of symbols that you may not be familiar with. Logos and symbols that denote organizations are branded onto the walls of buildings, statues and plaques. One such organization is the Corporation of London, as it was known until 2006, before it was renamed to the City of London Corporation. The Corporation of London acts as the governing body of the City of London. Though barely known by most, even in the UK, its origins actually date back to Anglo-Saxon times. These kind of logos are familiar to us but largely unknown in the public consciousness, effectively hidden in plain sight. As the age of international trade began, products were branded in a way that denoted their origin, often carrying with it a certain aura. Indian goods, for example, were treated by the English as luxurious and sophisticated, and so carrying a mark of quality. The British East India Company, the largest British trading company that dealt in importing such goods to Europe, and that which colonized much of Asia, would itself brand pirates with a hot iron as a form of punishment if caught. Such symbols and logos generally have been used by human beings branded onto various products. Coins, coat of arms, religious symbols, flags, all the way up to today with the brands that we see everywhere in our modern world. Just take a look around wherever you are right now. In every direction that you look, you should be able to identify a multitude of brands that signify the creator of the product in question. In most cases, these will be brand logos or subsidiary brand logos of transnational corporations. Even if you're streaming this broadcast in the middle of the forest or in the desert, the device that you're going to be using is branded. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Samsung, Huawei, and so on. One of these logos will be branded on your device. Some people actually go so far as to revere these brand logos in question today, as people once revered the Jesus cross, for example, hanging pictures of them on their walls in their home, or even tattooing them on their bodies. In Nazi Germany, inmates at the Auschwitz concentration camp were tattooed with code numbers as a means to identify, file, and organize, after the initial attempts to sew numbers onto clothes proved to be impractical for the guards. The coded tattoos themselves became a form of human branding that later identified survivors of the Holocaust. The essence of branding is at its root about the identification of something, whether that's the private property of an individual or of a collective group of people. So what is it that is so intrinsic to human nature that we feel the need to brand to signify our possession of something? For example, if you take a toy that a baby is holding out of its hand, he or she will cry until you give it back to them. In their mind, you've taken their possession. We name the land that we live upon and the water of the seas and the oceans that brush against the land. We've gone so far in our desire to possess everything, to even make patterns out of the stars, branding the night sky by naming the constellations, all as a means to possess it. The night sky was possessed long before we were ever born. We want to possess and we want to be possessed. We want to brand and we want to be branded. To name and to be named. It's so fundamental to who we are that the concept itself is rooted in language. It's something mystical, innate from the before, beyond comprehension, despite all our best efforts.